Hello, everybody, and welcome to the commentary track for While Supplies Last. It's been a while. Been almost a year now since we released our last song, Uncanny Valley.
I think next month is like its anniversary.
Yeah, May 10th is the anniversary of While Supplies, or not While Supplies Last, of Uncanny Valley. So that's pretty exciting. I am excited for that, but for now we have something brand new, and I think honestly quite a bit more. I like this song a lot more than Uncanny Valley in my honest opinion, but
it doesn't sound like anything I've heard on the radio.
I guess that's kind of the whole vibe. But anyway, let's move in now to then how we came up with the song. So what was the initial concept and how do we come up with the name and all that jazz? So I'll start with the initial concept of it was last Black Friday, so it would be around late November. I was at work at my retail job, and I was having a really rough day, as you might imagine. For some reason, Black Friday that day was like especially crowded when the year before it really wasn't, because people just started ordering stuff online nowadays. And I thought that was going to continue to be the case, but not last year, 2024, for some reason. And I was really stressed out, and customers getting really bitchy with me, and I ranted to Scion about it, and then he's like, why don't we make a Chromaforge song about it?
Yeah, I was like, that could be such a good Chromaforge song.
and at first I was really skeptical, so I was like, well, I don't know, my feet hurt, is that a song? well
it's a song now.
It is now.
Deal with it, name, past Michael.
Yeah, exactly. I got owned and pwned and all that. No, but the from there, I think it was fairly dormant for a little while. But I think we came up with the name pretty quickly.
Yeah. We had the name and lyrics. We had some ideas for how it would sound. Like, we had like 3 words. Like,
let me check. It was commercials and bubbly and like, I don't know, something else. Oh, sanity was the number.
Oh yeah. We wanted the song to feel like you're going insane, like Michael was that Black Friday.
Yeah, exactly. That was the core, and we'll talk more about how we did that in a bit once we talk about the song itself. But in terms of the name, I think I was the one that came up with the name. It was pretty I was fairly quick with it, because I was like, well, if we're going with the idea of sanity, what about While Supplies Last also kind of being an allegory to While My Sanity Lasts? And then we rolled with it.
This might just be a smooth transition to the next topic, but like one of the next things that happened with the song was I got some new audio equipment, and it came with a software suite. So this is a song that uses actual plugins that cost money that I got for free with the Focusrite Scarlet Solo.
Yeah.
So I did want to use not all of those, but like a lot of those. So that's why there's this really good piano VST, really good drum VST, and I started on the piano with what it plays during the chorus, and then that we did not really have to change that much at all.
No, the chorus was pretty much set from the beginning. Just to say that this little $100 interface literally comes with thousands of dollars worth of free plugins. Like, these plugins normally some of these cost like $100 or something by themselves, and it's like crazy. I don't know how they
genuinely like so. Like, how?
The instruments we used in the song sound really, really nice. I like them a lot, quite a bit more than the instruments we used at Uncanny Valley were pretty nice, but these ones were really, really nice. So one of the things, this topic that we're transitioning to is changes we made to our production process. As you know, if you listened to our last commentary track, we spent a lot of time discussing our production. And for our second song, we changed quite a lot about how we did things. So the first thing I've written down, for instance, is recording strategy for vocals. With Uncanny Valley, we did a lot of like whole song run through takes, and then very little like partial takes, and then just kind of threw it all together a little bit. Saya, do you want to go into detail about how we changed that?
I think I'm just gonna scroll down and it'll show.
Yeah. So a lot more partial takes.
Yeah, we did do a couple full run-through takes, and then we realized if we really want to nail this, we gotta do much smaller portions.
Right. It wasn't realistic that we could record this. I think it's a 3-minute song, like all at once in one take and have it be perfect.
Yeah, like 3 minutes 20.
Long. Yeah, you do have to account for that start time, but
yeah,
basically like 3 minutes 15 seconds roughly, and yeah, it wasn't happening, honestly. It was just like it wasn't happening. So that's what we decided to do. We literally would sometimes record one single line, and that was the entire recording. We did that quite a few times, especially on some of the trickier lines in this song. We would do times.
For the shorter lines, what we would do is like loop recording, where I would just play the same part over and over again, and when it comes up, you would just sing it.
Yep, we did that for quite.
That's a very efficient way of doing it for anyone that's having really to deal with this on their, like, with their music projects.
Yeah, no. If you as a singer, if you're like struggling with a particular section, just hearing it and doing it like over and over and over again, it can actually help out a lot more than even I expected. I think I was the one that proposed the idea of doing that when we were in the middle of a recording session, and it worked way better than I expected it to. Even.
Yeah, I thought there would be issues with like the singer knowing when to cue in, but like, I guess every time I provided enough like headroom.
Yeah, plus as we've shown before, we have like a little piano-like instrument playing the notes that I'm supposed to be singing as we're recording.
Oh yeah,
so that helps.
In Uncanny Valley, that was actually part of the mix. In this, we took it out of the mix after we were done recording vocals.
Yeah, so that was a difference in how we produced the song too. I think it does produce quite an interesting effect to not have that playing.
Yeah.
I think it does. I think cool, especially.
It was a good call for Uncanny Valley, not only because of the whole character of it, but I didn't have as good of pitch correction at that time. Pitch correction, scale and pitch correction plugins. I was just using the base. What is it called? Like.
Oh, bye.
Goodbye. Yeah, what is it called? Newtone, yeah.
Yeah, now, I don't know if that was part of his Focusrite plugin or not, but like...
No, the Newtone. So Newtone came with FL Studio, and I managed to buy Wavestune, which is... I got it for $40, but it was on sale. I think it's like around $100 for that.
Mm-hmm. But it is actually one of the more advanced pitch correction tools.
If pitch correction, like quality for plugins, was on a scale of 1 to 10, Newtone would probably be like 2, Melodyne would be 10, and Wavestune would be like 7.
Yeah, so it's as good as we'll get without spending literal thousands on Melodyne.
Yep.
So until we make thousands, we're not spending the money on Melodyne.
Help us make thousands by streaming the song.
Yeah, so true. Chromaforgeband.com. No.
And not to say that Michael's a bad singer or anything, pitch correction just happens to any vocal performance these days.
Yeah, especially because it's like we're particularly picky about it now, and it's like the singer's like slightly off, singing like a little sharp or something, that'll get corrected.
Yeah, it also just saves a lot of time from having to record it perfectly, as opposed to being able to fix what you already have.
Right, yeah. If it's salvageable with pitch correction without sounding too robotic, unless you're Daft Punk, then
oh yeah, you can do like auto-tune and have it be an intentional effect, but like until we get around to doing that in the song, that could be fun. We're just using it to make a more entertaining performance.
Yeah, make a better performance. Yeah, I think it's overall pretty good. Let's move to lyric ideas. It was mostly you, I think, that wrote them for Uncanny Valley, if I'm not mistaken.
But yeah, I think this one was a bit more, at least close to 50-50.
Yeah.
Like we both had ideas, and we both would help make those ideas into actual usable lyrics.
Yeah, it was quite involved, actually. We spent so much time writing lyrics. I think pretty close to the amount of time we spent recording vocals, honestly. It took forever.
But we really wanted our lyrics to accurately convey the Black Friday struggle.
Right. Yeah, the Black Friday struggle is hard, and basically we didn't want it to also just be like, this sucks. It wanted to be excruciating.
Like if the whole song was like Black Friday sucks as a retailer, that would be like a minute.
Right. Yeah. It's about.
But we really had to get deeper into it.
Oh, one thing that we did employ in this song that we didn't really in Uncanny Valley, because Uncanny Valley was one character. In this song, While Supplies Last, there are actually multiple characters going on throughout the song. So most of the song is from the perspective of the retail employee, because obviously that was the initial idea of the song. But verse 1, which we'll get into in a little bit, is from the customer's perspective going into Black Friday. And then verse 2 is from a managerial perspective, which we thought was a really interesting idea to cover. And then at the crazy ending chorus, which we'll also get to, it's the retail employee and the customer singing over each other.
Yeah.
So
we use the really same cool voice. We don't really distinguish it in the vocals, so it's kind of an exercise to find that out for yourself.
Right. The song is.
And also it allows for other interpretations, which is always cool.
Oh yeah. We try our best actually to kind of allow room for interpretation. Like obviously this commentary track will basically tell you our personal interpretation of the song, but feel free to add your own to it.
When we release this song, it's no longer ours, it's yours now.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically it's our communist song. It's for all. No. But yeah, obviously I said this is our official perspective on it. Feel free to do whatever you want. That's basically it. Yeah, and then there's a couple other new to Chromaforge things that we did in terms of mixing and things like that. So one thing we did was overdubbing. Do you want to explain that, Sion?
Yeah, we actually had wanted to do this for Uncanny Valley, but I believe we just forgot.
Yeah, whoops.
So those are just takes that are like the same as the main vocal takes for some parts. It's just they're both layered on top of each other, playing at the same time, and it creates sort of a wider effect.
Yeah, it especially because we can kind of mess with it in the stereo.
Because two vocal performances are not going to be the same as each other, so the little differences create a ton of, I guess, depth.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the most common tactics employed by a recorded song.
We ended up using it for the first and second chorus, not the third, because there was already the customer, and for the bridge.
Right, yeah. Most of the song has overdubbing, and it sounds really, really good. Like when Sion first sent me a clip of it, I was like, holy shit, wow, that sounds so good. So that was really cool to do. And then harmonies, we barely did any in Uncanny Valley except for like the very end a little bit.
Yeah, and there was two singers doing it, which we kind of just have very different voice types.
Right, yeah, and that always kind of is weird when you're trying to do harmonies. It's possible, but it's just like we would have had to lock in better on it.
I think if we want to do another song where like I have a singing part, it would be like kind of another section, like some Like, you know how it's sometimes in metal there's like a main singer and then a singer that does all the screamy stuff?
Right.
I guess that would be kind of my role, except I wouldn't be screamy, I would just be a different texture.
Right, exactly, yeah. So I think that, yeah, that's something we can consider for a future song, which we'll get into later. For now, I think that's about it for that. So let's go into the song, yeah, how we put it together in general.
Yeah, so we mentioned earlier, this piano part, which I'll play right now, was first. Not this part.
That is, I think, the
that's
chorus,
the verse that came later.
Yeah,
but this was the first thing. I was just playing some random stuff on my MIDI keyboard trying to find ideas, and then I came up with that, and Michael was like, yeah, I do that, and I was like, yeah, we're doing that, and then really grew on us, and it's so good now.
Yeah, no, that is like the very heart of the chorus, and that was like the first thing we did. When we were doing more parts of this, we were also literally consulting commercials.
Oh yeah.
To like
most of the drums actually reference commercials that we found, because you can't really copyright drums.
No, you can't really copyright like tiny little sections of songs and stuff like that. It's not that we ripped those directly, it's just we use kind of a similar thing to them. Because basically we wanted the song to feel like you were like trapped in an insane commercial or something.
Yeah.
And I think we accomplished that pretty well, while also making a song that doesn't just sound like you're in an elevator, you know what I mean? Like, it would be crappy to listen to.
I don't remember exactly when this synth plucky stuff came in. The synth pluck was definitely influenced by the type of stuff at least modern commercials are doing with the music. So it on its own is kind of not really as impressive as without effects. Basically, I made it sound a bit weaker because it kind of occupies the same frequencies as Michael's voice.
Oh yeah.
So you can still tell it's there, it just doesn't clash. Little bit of a mixing tip.
Yeah, we had Sion does like all of the mixing apart from our session, so I don't really know much about what goes into that. So when we talk about that, that's gonna be all him.
Yeah.
He's the audio engineer in our group, so
I'm literally going to college for audio engineering.
Yeah, that's why he can do this, and I cannot. So I'm more than happy to let him do it. Anyway, yeah, the chorus was the first thing we wrote. It was not the first lyric that we wrote, though. That's at the beginning of the song, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds like. Did we put much thought into this bass? I don't remember.
Honestly, I don't remember much, so probably not.
I don't know. We just kind of thought it sounded good, I guess.
Yeah, real. You can go ahead and play if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to play a chorus snippet. I guess this song doesn't really need a crazy bass, just one that sounds kind of real, kind of not.
Right.
And not too much emphasis on it.
Yeah, it's not a crazy.
Because it kind of doubles up with a piano, at least in that section.
Right. I think in future songs, I would actually like to do something a little bit more crazy with bass, because I like bass. But for this song, it wasn't really needed. So it's just basic. It's nice and it's there, and that's all it needs to do.
Oh, another thing is I added like this guitar. This was like one of the second or third thing I added to the chorus. And Michael's reaction was that it felt really overwhelming, and it was actually good for the song, like he liked it.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we placed that closer to the end to sort of create that slow curve into insanity.
Right, we give you a little teaser near the end of chorus 2, then it shuts off for the bridge, and then it's back in full force as it starts getting into the third and final big chorus. That was the whole idea.
Really the whole song builds up to that last chorus, and I love that about it. Like there's nothing after that, it just stops.
Yeah, and that was intentional from the beginning. We were like, it should get insane and then just drop off instantly. The song is done, it's over.
Because that's a little bit how Black Friday works as a retailer. You have an 8-hour shift. At the 7th hour, you're losing your mind, and then the 8th hour, and you no longer have to care about it. It's like, it's like 6 a.m. Five Nights at Freddy's. Nothing really matters anymore.
That's real.
What else can we say about the drums that we haven't said before? We're using a cool new plugin for it, and we base it off of some commercials we found.
Yep. You want to play it?
Yeah, I guess we can play the chorus bit. You know, that does remind me. We also have like a clap type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like very often used in synthetic music.
Right. And
we have that playing during the verses. Not in the chorus. We have it play a bit during the bridge as well. And yeah, it's not in choruses.
Just a little bit of a thing to add to the verses. All my recordings down there.
Oh yeah, if you've been looking closely at the screen, you may have noticed supermarket beep. I created the sound thinking we might want to use it somewhere.
We never did, no.
It's literally like
the
beep at the supermarket.
Yeah, this is like crazy. He was constantly messing with me with this damn thing the whole time we were doing stuff.
Yeah, I thought we would want to use it somewhere. Turns out the song didn't need it.
Yeah,
cutting room floor type stuff.
But we were experimenting stuff like you did the like McDonald's air fryer with it and all kinds of.
Oh yeah, that one was just a meme.
Yeah, we weren't actually gonna use it like. Yeah, but that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we just didn't really find any place where we wanted to use it in the song, so we didn't.
Yeah.
But it's just something funny to mention because it was quite a big part of the production process anyway.
Maybe I can talk about how this was the first Chromaforge song to actually have a separate mix and master.
Oh yeah, go on.
So this is what I've been showing you is the mix project. And we have a separate project here for the master. So we've got a shit ton of plugins here to make it sound really good. This provides some saturation. I learned about this when I was mastering the song. This is basically just a mastering plugin. It's comes with FL Studio. It does so much cool stuff in it. And then limiter to make sure we're not being too loud with it.
Right, yeah, we're not trying to explode some people's houses or whatever with this song, so.
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of this master.
Yeah, this turned out really nice.
But I'll go back to the mix.
Yeah, the mix will be where we'll mainly reside for now. Did you do anything like too unique we want to talk about in like the bridge or the verses or anything? Because we focused on the choruses for the instruments.
I guess we could talk about this piano part.
Yeah, this piano part goes kind of crazy.
So definitely I wrote that first part of it first, and this kind of increased the intensity over time just by making it more rapid. Like... and a little less predictable as well. Like you can't... These piano notes are like the customers that are coming in on Black Friday. Yeah. So many of them.
That more intense part, I mean, it would be possible to play on a real life piano, but you need to be pretty good at piano.
Yeah, I cannot. I can play the chorus if you give me some time to figure out the notes.
Yeah, no, but it gets pretty nuts in the bridge, and very similar things go on in the drums and the bass and stuff like that, kind of picking up on
it was actually kind of difficult with the drums because I initially made them so intense that they were like overwhelming is the point, but they were like overwhelming in a not satisfying way. So that took a while to rein in.
Right, yeah, that was such a struggle throughout the song, especially when composing, was just the whole idea of, well, we want it to be overwhelming, but it should be fun overwhelming. It shouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to listen to the song anymore. So it's like, yeah, that was a really hard balance to strike, but I think we did it pretty good. With that, I think we can talk about, I guess, some vocals / lyrics stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, we applied a lot more overdubbing this time, and then also harmonies. Some of these harmonies are really, really cool. I think there's a few places. Yeah. So a lot of them are like right before or inside choruses, I believe.
Yeah, like this one.
Now that the prices are low, it was our guarantee. The lines are moving too slow, and they're all mad at me. I have to take a break. There is no intermission.
Yep.
But the first part, that was a harmony, and that was really. The harmonies sound so good. It feels so pointless. The crowds are vast. These sound so nice. I love how they sound. And usually I don't like myself saying it, so I should say something. I had a lot of fun doing the harmonies for this part. It was so cool. Like when Zion let me hear them for the first time when they were clicking, it was I call it clicking when the harmonies fit together. And it was like, wow, man, that's so cool. But what was the coolest was this idea of having two different lyric sets going on at the same time. That got really crazy. And we weren't even sure we were going to be able to do it at first. We were like, this might be too much. But it turned out so well.
Yeah, you want me to just play only the vocals part of it?
Yeah, sure. And yet it's all in vain. All these brand new devices are slightly changed versions with higher prices, but everybody wants to have the newest gadget while supplies last. And if
this part is so cool.
I'll find someone to do it. I make my living treated as a unit. I'm just one piece in a giant machine while supplies last.
Yeah, it is crazy how we managed to make that work. Something that helps is the backing vocals are doing what the piano is doing, so it's not more rhythmically complex. The backing vocals, what they're actually singing, I guess I'll leave what the exact words as an exercise for the listener to find out, because they are pretty buried, so it could be cool to have that be like something people figure out. They are all things that Michael has heard doing retail.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, if you want to cheat, just look up the lyrics. They'll be published pretty soon after the song comes out. But hey,
I think we should omit them from the lyrics.
just at least a while, so people have to find them out. Well, wow, we're really.
It's also.
Dog.
It's also just very difficult to write them out because they're happening at the same time. Like, what's the formatting?
I did come up with a way to do it, and I'll show you after this recording. But
I haven't seen that, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, but either way, I would encourage you guys to like just take a good listen to this, especially last part. It's so cool because at least what I could do, and I don't know if it's just because I have a more musically trained ear, but I could literally like swap my listening between them in my head. Like I could focus on the chorus, and then I could also focus on the backing and like kind of switch between them, and it's a really cool effect.
Another thing that helped it make sense in the mix is the backing vocals have an EQ on them that makes it so they don't clash with like the 4 kilohertz frequency that the main voice usually sits at.
Right.
That's usually the frequency with the most clarity, so making sure the actual main vocals were taking up a lot of that was a really good way of making this whole ending section work.
Yeah, it was so crucially important because we were like, if we could pull this off, this would be the coolest thing ever. But we were really scared that it wasn't going to work. But we had to try. And it
I mean, not a lot of songs do it.
No, because I mean, I can think of a few other examples of songs, but it's so rare. Like most of the time when you have quote unquote overlapping vocals in a song, they're singing something very close to what the main vocals are singing. They're just singing their own thing completely. Like they're not connected at all. they're both singing to the end, and in fact the backing vocals technically fit after the main vocals.
Yeah, the customer is not the main character in the story.
Yeah, but the customer has, in a funny way, the customer literally has the final word of the song.
That's true. Read into that how you will.
Yeah, that's not even intentional either, but that's a really cool effect actually. It's just kind of how it ended up working. And the last word being me as well is kind of fun.
Oh yeah. That's a lot you could find out about this song.
Yeah, no, I like
even we're finding stuff out about the song.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's more stuff more people find as they start listening to it. That's one thing. Definitely consider joining our Discord. You can find the link in the description or at chromaforgeband.com, where you can also find the song. And we would love to hear from you guys. We do really like to hear from people about what they think of our songs and cool stuff about it and all that stuff, because that's what makes this process worth it. I mean, this was one of our quicker times, I would believe, from start to finish, and it was still like a good month or two of work. Like it's not like we just like do a song in no time. It does take effort, so it is good to hear people enjoy the song.
I mean, there are bands that can just write a song like so quickly, but they usually have some reason why they're able to. Like usually it's punk bands that are able to write the quickest.
Right. Yeah, and for us, we gotta kind of take our time, but
yeah,
we think the results are worth it.
Multiple reasons. We're not too skilled at instruments. We have to like program things in. That takes time, and also we always put a lot of time into our lyrics.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I do think the lyrics honestly was like one of the longest parts of the production of the song. Like it seriously took us so long. We would literally have minutes of silence sometimes while we were trying to think of things. It was hard for this song for some reason. It was like we were trying so hard to find the perfect words, but I think we did it pretty well. All right, I think that's all I gotta say on the song itself, except for, of course, chromaforgeband.com. Go ahead and stream it or buy it on Bandcamp. We would greatly appreciate either way, though.
And tell your friends about it.
Yeah,
we gotta spread the word.
Yeah, like we don't make songs to become famous. Like that's not our goal with making music, but obviously the more people know about it and stuff, it's nice to have that.
Yeah. Basically, the more people know about us, stream us, buy our music, the more music we can make, and that's really our goal.
Right. We want to be able to, the like absolute pipe dream with Chromaforge would be to be able to, where we would be able to just work on Chromaforge basically like almost full time, and that would be crazy. We would, man, that would be so cool.
Yeah. At that point, we'd be able to make albums, which is something we always want to do.
Yeah, ever since we started Chromaforge last year, our one goal, like our biggest goal, has been making an entire album. But for now, we've stuck to singles because they're just the easiest to produce and get out there. So we can, have stuff for you guys to listen to. But hopefully in the future, try to work our way up to making an EP and stuff like that. Speaking of which, this is actually vaguely transitioning into talking about what we plan to do next. So yeah, from here, I don't know how much we want to say about our next song. Not very much. I'll just say, yeah, it's a next song, not songs. So it'll be another single coming out sometime.
Yeah, we still need to compose it. We just have an idea. That's where we're at.
But it's a very cool idea. I think it's something you guys will enjoy a lot. Actually, a fairly different vibe to Uncanny Valley and While Supplies Last. Because while those two songs do have different vibes, they definitely still have a kind of commonality with, like, I guess I would say the synths. The kind of synths are kind of a signature of ours. It's gonna be a little different than the other song, I'll just say that. But I think it's gonna be a really cool vibe. I think people enjoy it a lot. We especially have a lot of room to play with lyrics in that song, and I'm really, really excited about it. But in terms of that, that's the biggest plan right now. From there, I don't know yet. we'll see.
I mean,
we'd like to take it one song at a time.
We do want to do an EP at some point, but like, we can't really say anything more useful than that right now.
But we are, like, it's not just because we're trying to keep it secret. It's literally we don't actually have anything conceptualized yet to share on that.
Yeah, we want to do it. We just need the opportunity.
Right. We also recently made a Blue Sky account, and we actually did get like a couple streams. I noticed a little uptick in our streams on While Supplies Last from advertising on there, which I thought was really cool.
Do you mean Uncanny
so if you're
Valley?
On Blue Sky, follow us over there.
You said While Supplies Last. I think you meant Uncanny.
Yeah, sorry, Uncanny. But hopefully the same thing will happen to While Supplies Last.
Yeah.
And we appreciate if you're on Blue Sky, follow us over there. That would be very, very nice. We're gonna be trying our best. Like I said earlier, it's not like our goal to get famous or anything like that. It's just we want more people to hear our music. And that's
I think it's like we don't really want to get famous. We want to build a community. That's what we want to do.
It would just be so cool to just have like a community where we can talk to people about our songs and like get some cool inspiration from people's songs and stuff like that. For people's songs, I mean, yeah, we do take inspiration from songs. I just mean like people in the community talking about their thoughts on our songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those are the main plans. I hope.
Oh yeah, if anything we said here doesn't come true, like, we're not liars. We just we go with the flow.
Yeah, it's the current plans we have now were not the plans we had last year, and it's probably going to be a similar thing into the next year or beyond.
They weren't the plans we had last month.
Yeah. Some stuff we like is a very recent change, so do keep that in mind. But apart from that, thank you guys for listening to the commentary track. Greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next song. Hopefully not a whole year ahead, but we'll see.